we are on to the induction matrix. Now, at this point into the pathway, you might have another way of storing energy. I will have a video down in the description going over the pros and cons of every single energy storage up to this point. Now, what is the induction matrix? Well, as just stated, the induction matrix is an energy storage multi-block structure within Mekanism. You have multiple energy storages at this point. The main difference between this and any of the others is that the induction matrix is, like I said, multi-block structure. From the smallest, which is right here in front of me, is a 3x3x4 to an 18x18x18. The key difference between this and any of the others is that how you build the inside. The inside has 4 different ways of being built. So here we have a basic, a advanced, elite, and ultimate. The basic induction matrix and this size holds 8 gigajoules of energy. Basic is the smallest, where ultimate is the biggest. It outputs 256 kilojoules of energy. The advanced holds 64 gigajoules of energy, outputting 2.04 megajoules of energy. The elite holds 512 gigajoules with outputting 16.38 megajoules, and the ultimate holds 4 trillion joules and 131.07 megajoules. Now, you're mostly going to be using this in tandem with your reactors and turbine, which we'll be going over the reactor and turbine later video. So, when you get to this point, if you're not going to be moving on to the reactor, which you're going to have to if you want to complete the pack, you might be building the basic. Pretty simple, pretty minor to make. The basic one takes 8 energy tablets, 2 steel casings, and 4 basic circuits. This is for the entire thing. This is including the induction cell and the provider. I did not do the math on the advanced and elite, but I will have an edit in here going over what the amounts are. The ultimate, however, is very pricey. And when I say pricey, I mean pricey. You want to, before making this, you kind of want to set up a auto crafting system, be a little more auto crafty and whatnot. Because if you don't, you will be taking time to craft roughly 796 energy tablets and 172 steel casings. Why is it a good idea to go ahead and make all this stuff prior? Well, let's just look at a steel casing. The steel casing is expensive, but this is pre-tech update, so that might change. So, what is the best way to build these? I have done this in 2 ways. I have either done making 3 of them or 4. So before we get into the monsters and comparing them to the small ones, I'm going to quickly build the 3x4. Now when you're making this, you can use the structured glass because it's cheaper. Does anything special happen within this that says, oh, you should, that you're going to want to use the structured glass? No. Nothing actually happens on the inside with this structure. It's just one of those things that if you're trying to be cost worthy of materials, you're going to want to go with glass. If you're not, then go ahead and make the entire thing out of the induction casings. Now I have a configurator on me because it's actually kind of needed for this. So you can put these in any order that you want. You can have the induction cell on bottom or you can have it on top. Now I believe you can actually just straight store energy into this. I mean, you don't need a provider. But if you're trying to pull energy out of this, you have to have the provider. So let's finish this off. And kind of like all the other structures, when you complete it, you'll have your red particles come up. And then if you want to pull energy from it, grab your configurator, shift and right click, and you're good. Now let's talk over comparing the 18 by 18 by 18 to the small ones. The 18 by 18 by 18 holds like this is just all basic. I split this in half from the cells and the providers being 8. Well, yeah, 8 up, and then the other half is the providers. This holds 16.38 trillion joules of energy. I could probably have said that wrong. Whereas this surpasses this basic ultimate. But this also kind of goes in line with this ultimate right here. This is a 4x4x4, holding a 2x2 provider and a 2x2 cell, which holds 16 trillion joules. So this is holding more, but you're also using a little bit more materials to make this compared to this. Now, comparing that to this, I didn't do the same thing with this, but pretty much this holds more than I can even pronounce. Now we're going to check out the output of these real quick. Now I have another structure later that we'll be talking about later to show this off. So let's just pull from this. So this is currently outputting 524 megajoules. Unfortunately, that is kind of the downside of the induction matrix, is that even though you have a lot of providers, it still won't pull out as much. Well, we'll find out here in a sec. But yeah, there's that output. Let's try the output of the other. But real quick, let's empty that energy. Connect that one. And then let's put energy into this. We'll let this build up for a moment, so that way we can see what the output would be. But let's see what the output of this bad boy actually is. So this will fill up almost instantly, but let's actually connect it. This is putting out roughly 999.42 megajoules of energy. That's a lot. Now this probably could put out even more if I was to just drop the riders down more. So that is pretty much the induction matrix. But real quick, let's just look at the crafting recipe of the casing and the port real quick. The casing takes 4 steel ingots and 1 energy tablet. And then the induction port takes 4 of those casings, 1 of the elite circuits, and makes 2. Now, my best tip for you, unless you really have been working towards this early on, like the moment you got to auto crafting, you can go the biggest. Do I recommend it? No. Because unless you are unless you have like, say 4 fission reactors, putting out max energy that you can from a max turbine, then you won't need that 18 by 18 by 18, especially not of the ultimate. The ultimate, you're pretty much going like, okay, I don't care. I have so much materials. I want to build this. This, yes, but the ultimate, no. My main recommendation is either doing 3 ultimates like this, or going that little extra way and doing a 4x4 filled with the ultimates. I do hope this helped you. The next episode, the next video will be of the turbine.